As pressure mounts on the government from the public, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu on Friday says Cabinet will review the 14% value-added tax on private tuition this Tuesday. The Prime Minister, along with Minister Cathy Hughes and Rupert Roopnarine, met with owners and operators of private educational institutions, accompanied by students, parents and other stakeholders at the National Cultural Centre.
And I want to let you know that this has not been a popular tax. This has created unease, it has created pains, it has created stress. And a good government must always re-evaluate its decision.
Mr. Nagamutu said that Finance Minister Winston Jordan was not the person who decided that VAT should be added on private tuition fees, but it had been a decision taken by the entire cabinet.
In life, only the squeaky wheel gets the grease. If you don't make noise, you're not going to be listened to. And so you had a legitimate right to protest, a legitimate right to voice your concerns.
On Monday, opposition leader Jagdeo had his bit to say about the forum held on Friday to discuss the VAT on private tuition.
Can you imagine, I see one of the articles, can you imagine the AFC supporting the tax on education, the VAT on education? Well, they did. And they not only supported it, they sought to excuse it by misleading people. So they're very clever. In the private conversations, they say, oh, you know this, man, we don't support this thing, but it's the UPNU boys. But if they felt that way, they should say it.
Mr. Jagdeo went on to say that the Prime Minister continued to defend the VAT on private tuition, stating that the PM is sending different signals on the matter.
He defends this using false arguments. He sought once again to blame the sugar workers. That the sugar workers, because we have to spend $1 billion, an additional $1 billion on sugar workers, we now have to go and take taxes from parents who are sending their kids to private schools. And the Ministry of Agriculture had to intervene and correct him that it's not new money they're talking about. It's already catered for in the budget framework. So all that he said to people there, the attempt to excuse this policy at the cultural center, was patently false, premised on misleading people and putting the blame on sugar workers to break the solidarity that people may have with sugar workers.
But Mr. Jagdeo might have misinterpreted what the Prime Minister had said. What Mr. Nagamutu said was that the continued bailing out of the sugar industry continued to put a burden on the government's coffers. He further stated that the decision to add the VAT on the private fees was to recover taxes private school owners have been fleecing for years. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.